New York City police named a person of interest in the shooting Tuesday morning aboard a subway train in Brooklyn. 10 people were shot and 13 others were injured after a man wearing a gas mask threw 2 smoke canisters and then opened fire aboard a subway car on the N train as it approached the 36th Street station in Brooklyn during the morning rush hour, authorities said. New York Police Chief of Detectives James W. Essig said at a news conference Tuesday night that Frank R. James, 62, rented a U-Haul van, the keys of which were found at the scene of the shooting in Brooklyn's Sunset Park neighborhood. "We are looking for Frank James," he said. "We know he rented that U-Haul van." James, who has addresses in Wisconsin and Philadelphia, was not named as a suspect, and detectives want to determine whether he witnessed the attack, Essig said. "The van was rented in Philadelphia," he said. Police said they were looking into social media posts from someone with the same name that mentioned homelessness, New York, and Mayor Eric Adams, leading officials to beef up the mayor's security detail. The shooter set off 2 smoke canisters and opened fire with a Glock 9mm handgun, shooting 33 rounds that struck the 10 gunshot victims, authorities said. Investigators later recovered from the subway station a gun with a magazine attached, 2 additional magazines, ammunition, a hatchet and a container of what is believed to be gasoline, New York Police Commissioner Keechant Sewell said at the news conference. Any possible motive was unknown. The attack triggered a massive law enforcement response, and a manhunt continued into Tuesday evening. Police had said they were looking for a man believed to be about 5'5" and 180 pounds, wearing a green construction vest during the attack. "This person is dangerous," New York Governor Kathy Hochul said at a news conference Tuesday. The FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives have joined in the investigation. The chaos, which was caught on video and in photos, started at 8:24 a.m., Sewell told reporters. The suspect was in the train car. "The shooting began in the train car," she said. As the train was pulling into the station, the subject put on a gas mask. He then opened a canister that was in his bag, and then the car began to fill with smoke. After that, he began shooting. None of the wounded have life-threatening injuries, and the attack isn't being considered an act of terrorism, authorities said. However, Adams said he considered the attack to have been an act intended to bring terror to subway riders. Anytime you have a person that uses a smoke device, you have a person who discharges a weapon in the system that appeared to place a gas mask on his face. That is a person that is intentionally trying to terrorize our system, Adams told MSNBC. Adams, a former police officer elected to office by voters with an increased fear of crime, said he would significantly boost police presence on the rails. "What we're going to do to help ease some of the apprehension. We're going to double our enforcement," he said. "We're keeping our day tour police officers to complement the 4 to 12 tour police officers." Before the U-Haul van was located on Kings Highway in Brooklyn early Tuesday evening, police said additional evidence, including a bag that contained additional smoke canisters and retail fireworks, was discovered at the subway station and could be connected to the attack, law enforcement sources told NBC New York. The gun that was used jammed during the attack, possibly limiting injuries, the sources said. Passengers, including some of the wounded, stumbled out of the train, with a few of them boarding in our train across the platform to get away, witnesses and law enforcement sources told NBC New York. In addition to the 10 people who were shot, 13 others were hurt in the rush to get away from the N train, the New York City Fire Department said. The injuries for the latter 13 were related to inhalation of canister smoke, tripping or falling while fleeing or panic attacks, Essig, the chief of detectives, said Tuesday night. Investigators believe they have images of the gunman taken from nearby businesses, but a security camera in the station is broken, law enforcement sources told NBC New York. Police explained at the evening news conference that the camera was non-functional as a result of user error, as someone had failed to switch frequencies, from UHF to VHF, or vice versa, so its images could be transmitted and stored. Essig said hundreds of detectives were combing through other security video to determine whether it recorded images of the shooter. Authorities also said no officers